On the first, what is federalism? There are actually many versions of federalism as applied to many countries, not only in the Asia Pacific but even in the United States and also in Europe. As in our case, like in the Philippines, as to what I've observed, federalism is understood in its very simplistic form that we will be remitting its economic and though in political structure, I have reservations as to the seriousness of its application, since we do not pass the anti-political dynasty instead of portraying the seriousness. Rather, we are overriding this old problem with the new one. So in our case, again, many people would be supporting the federalism in a very simplistic form as to how revenues are shared, like according to the DDS, which I've met, they're riding on PDP Laban's federalism because of the idea that we will be remitting only 20 and the remaining 80% of the revenue will be enjoyed by the different provinces, soon states. But then, according to the former Chief Justice Hilario Davide, and also a constitutionalist, that simplistic understanding of federalism can be attained by way of utilizing the Local Government Code of 1991. So, on the political, since we do not overhaul the systemic problem, let's say, with the local elites holding onto their positions without the anti-political dynasty bill, so I presuppose there will be a greater problem faced by the ordinary Filipino, and this would be the local elites that will be serving as executives of the different federal states. And on the economic, since we don't have the national minimum wage, then if the same problem will be carried on with the federal form of government, so it means that the different states will be competing against each other, racing towards the bottom. So to attract investors, since the local elites, the soon to be executives of the different states, will be leading the states in its economic public policy, and one of which is, of course, racing towards the bottom, then for these states to attract investors, one way of attracting them is to maintain, if not to lower down the wages. Other than that, loosening the environmental restrictions. So in the end, if you're going to follow the Constitution as suggested by Duterte's PDP Laban, that there will be equitable distribution, equal distribution of wealth and income. So the question is, will there be, since they'll be giving 100% ownership to foreign private investors? And in the current, even with the current Constitution, we all know how the ordinary Filipino people, how the state, the Philippine government partake with the resources of the Philippines. How much more if this will be given, okay, the ownership, 100% of it will be given to the foreign investors. So, will there be equal distribution of wealth and income and wealth? So that's the reservation. And as published by IDEA, International Institution for Democracy and Electoral, I forgot but it's an Australian-based primer. Much of the contentions about federalism, much of it lies with the disadvantages. And so we, as a Unitarian form, we have to ask questions. How this will affect change? Is it really equal distribution of income and wealth, or it's just another way of profiteering, or let's say of depriving the Filipino people of their just share from the resources. So that one. So, I presuppose that despite overhauling the form of government, the same problem would be faced, since it pays interest to the demand of global capitalism instead of giving stress to the demands of the people. That one. So I have doubts when it comes to lifting the quality of living in the Philippines when it comes to federalism. Many doubts. So long as there are stresses on the interest and welfare of the multinationals, then we cannot aim or we cannot hope for the change as promised to us by PDP under the banner of federalism. That one.